In this video, I'm going to be speaking about the first step that you must take before you actually start a civil action at the courts. Sounds interesting? Well, listen on. Imagine this, you're walking on the road and all of a sudden you hear persons arguing. One person then jumps up and says, "I have court closed, you're going to meet me in court." Well, at least that's an indication that somebody is going to be carried to court. But let me tell you what's the first step that that person needs to follow. They need to seek independent legal advice. As such, that person needs to reach out to their lawyer. Whosoever their lawyer may be, call up their lawyer, WhatsApp, email, however they reach out to their lawyer in their jurisdiction and ask for an appointment to meet their lawyer. Now when they meet their lawyer, they have some responsibilities and roles, the person that is who wants to go to court. One of the first responsibilities they have is to be very transparent with their lawyer and tell the lawyer every and all information related to the particular incident. As such, it means that they would have to work with whatever evidence, whatever documents they may have, etc. And when the lawyer gets that information, the lawyer is then going to go through the information and give advice based on that information. The lawyer won't just make random statements or stuff like that. The lawyer has to actually make do an analysis on the information that's going to be presented. As such, you need to bring information for your lawyer and be as transparent as possible. And remember, once you're speaking with your lawyer, this conversation is going to be confidential, which again encourages the atmosphere for you to be very open and transparent with your lawyer. He's going to answer whatever questions you may have, bring whatever clarity you may have, but you may need as well regarding whatever issue you're facing. As an attorney as well, that attorney is there to help and support you through his or her expertise. After going to school for so many years, that person will be able to identify your actual problem and then look for actual or the most practical solution through it all. So that's your responsibility. You must be transparent with your lawyer, providing whatever information that's available. Let me now explain some of the rules of the lawyer itself through the process. Once the lawyer analyzes the case, he's going to give you the reasonable likelihood of success, whether you have a case or you don't have a case. Let's look at an example. Let's say Jack and Jill, the famous Jack and Jill, right? They're not husband or wife in this particular case. Jill now, she has a roti shop and she wants to buy some mangoes to make some curry mangoes, stew mango, whatever mango she wants to make. And Jack provides mangoes, so he has entered into an agreement with Jill for the provision of mangoes. Now, one particular month, Jack failed to provide mangoes to Jill, and Jill now decides to go by a lawyer to seek legal advice as to whether she could go to the courts and claim some remedy because she was unable to provide the curry mango, stew mango for her clients. So what she would do, she would go to the lawyer with whatever document she has, and then the lawyer is going to review it and go through the process. Now, in giving legal advice to Jill, the lawyer is going to explain the procedural steps. What are the steps that need to be followed? Writing letters, pre-action letters, which I'm going to explain in my other video, pre-action letters, and then commencing action in court, and the various steps. And then from there, he's going to also explain the substantive matter as to whether or not Jill actually has a claim against Jack. For this would most likely be a breach of contract. So whether or not Jack actually breached the contract. So the lawyer will look at the strength of Jill's case, whatever documents she may have, receipts, contract, various forms of evidence, etc. And then he's going to look at the weaknesses of her case and also the potential defense that Jack would raise. So all of that would be discussed with the lawyer when she visits the lawyer. It's going to be the issue of liability as well as remedy, because Jill won't just want to go to court for going to court's sake to say that Jack breached a contract. She will actually want some remedy, whether it be the mangoes being provided or compensation for the loss of earnings and various factors that the lawyer is going to explain. The issue of liability as well as remedy. Now, when the lawyer is having that conversation with Jill regarding this mango contract, he is going to identify what would be the evidence that would be needed, as well as if Jill doesn't have the relevant evidence, he's going to tell Jill what would be the evidence needed to prove liability, one, that Jack actually breached the contract, and two, what would be the evidence needed for the remedies that Jill would be looking for. So that would be the conversation that you're going to have with your lawyer. Before you actually start any action, you need to have that conversation and independent legal advice with your lawyer, which is going to also identify the correct person that has to be brought before the court. Let's say, for example, Jack, he doesn't trade, he does trade as a company rather than himself. And if you looked at that video, you will understand that a company is different from a sole trader. So check out that video if you didn't see that video. I'll leave it up there in the link. So the lawyer now is going to identify who is the correct person to bring before the court, as well as issues of limitation as to whether she's in time or out of time, because in civil actions, most of them, there's some exceptions, you normally have 4 years to file your action in court. So those are the steps that the lawyers would have to go through, the procedural as well as the substantive steps, as well as various factors, the likelihood of success, and all of those points. So before you actually start an action in court, seek legal advice. Now this would apply to various civil matters, defamation, negligence, breach of contract, various ones, and I'll explain those in my other video. So guys, I just want to thank you so much for looking at the end of this video. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe right below there, because on this channel I simplify the law and make it easy for you to understand. So in my next video I would want to speak about pre-action protocol letters, or as it's commonly called, lawyer letters. So if you haven't, make sure that you subscribe. You guys take care for now. Bye.